You're listening to Soul Food. We are thrilled to announce the launch of the Soul Food FM shop. Now you can grab Soul Food hoodies, mugs, decals, and more. Every purchase helps us make more Soul Food episodes and bring Soul Food to a wider audience. Visit us today at soulfoodfm.shop.
Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. They say just as our bodies need nourishment to survive, our souls need to be nourished as well. But the question is, how often do we feed our souls? Welcome to Soul Food, a podcast about spiritual refinement. My name is Amjad Tarsin, and I invite you to embark with me on this journey inward to work on our souls. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to episode 25 of Soul Food, titled Farewell. And in this episode, we're going to talk about loving goodness and how the believer and the person of spiritual insight and spiritual aspirations always loves goodness, all kinds of goodness. We'll talk about reflecting on lost opportunities, and then we'll talk about asking for the next Ramadan. The believer always loves goodness. As the heart becomes purified and illuminated with the lights of faith and nearness and beautified with the spiritual ornaments of gratitude and love and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then your heart begins to love all of the things that are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ramadan, as far as special times in the year go, is one of the greatest symbols of God. It is one of the greatest things that the heart becomes attached to because it is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He has placed so much blessings and mercy within it. And as the month comes to a close, it's natural to feel sad, not wanting it to end. Ramadan is like a beloved friend, a beloved companion that we've had this intimate time with, but we're starting to realize that their time to go is soon approaching. And it hurts. It's sad. And no one loves Ramadan, the scholars say, except a believer, and no one dislikes Ramadan except a hypocrite. So it's natural to feel that love for the month of Ramadan, and I hope you're all feeling it, this attachment, this feeling of, I don't want it to end just yet. I don't want Ramadan to leave just yet. And I remember when I was studying overseas in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, they would sing these qasa'id, these anashid after Taraweeh. And they would say in the last 10 nights, Muwadda' muwadda' ya Ramadan, fi wada'atillah ya Ramadan. They would say, farewell, farewell ya Ramadan. We leave you in God's care, O Ramadan. And it would hurt. It would be like, no, I don't want it. And they would start it on the 21st night. Like, no, I don't want you to go just yet. I want some more time. I'm feeling the intimacy, the blessings, the love. So it's natural to feel that sense of sadness, but that's a sign that your heart is connected to something that's beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that brings us to the next point of the importance on reflecting on lost opportunities. One of the lessons at the end of Ramadan is really to do inventory on ourselves, is really to look within ourselves and to say, how did I do? We talk about Ramadan as this, the school of Ramadan, or this course that you go through. How did I do in Ramadan? What did I do wrong? What should I have done better? How could I have used my time more wisely? These are questions that we should be asking ourselves, because life is a series of small phases of time. Week to week, month to month, year to year, they're all phases of time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us these bittersweet moments so that we can learn to recognize the lesson that your time is limited, that there is an ultimate end, that there will be an ultimate time of parting. So the way that you prepare for that is taking the lessons in these little phases of time so that you can improve, so that you can call yourself to account. As Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu would say, حاسب نفسك قبل أن تحاسب. Call yourself to account before you are accounted for, before God calls you to account. So it's not about feeling helpless. It's not about saying, you know what, I did a terrible job in Ramadan. Even if you're listening to this at the very end of Ramadan, there's still hope that you can end on a good note, that you put your hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not about feeling helpless, but it is saying, if I get another chance, I will do better. I will do better, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and putting your hope in Allah, but also tying your camel and doing your part. But the way that you really are able to do that successfully is looking within yourself. Did I read enough Quran? Did I pray as many prayers as I should have or could have? Did I carry myself in a way that was reflective of prophetic character? And when you call yourself to account in that way, you say, you know what? Maybe I didn't, but if I get another chance, I will remember this sense of loss that I'm feeling now and this sense of regret and make sure to do better next time. And that brings us to the next point about next Ramadan, the next upcoming Ramadan. And one of the things that we have to be really honest about is that none of us is guaranteed the next Ramadan. This might be, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you and all of us life and health and well-being and long life in His service and obedience. But we do have a time that we will leave. And none of us is guaranteed the next Ramadan. We've heard of people who've passed away in this Ramadan before it was even over. But just as we love the good, we love this month of blessings and mercy, the month of the Quran, the month of prayer, the month of Taraweeh. So we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before Ramadan ends to allow us to reach the next Ramadan in the best of states. That if we love it, and we all do, you wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't, that if we love Ramadan, then we should ask for it. We say, oh Allah, just like you've given me this beautiful companion, this dear friend, someone who has walked with me in this journey towards you, allow us to be reunited in the next year so that we can do this again and we can do it in a way that is better and more pleasing to you, and that we can even strive with more determination, that we can seek more of your blessings and more of your treasures, and that we have another opportunity for Laylatul Qadr. We have another opportunity to connect with the Quran in a unique way. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you that before the end of Ramadan. And in an episode that's coming up, inshallah, we're going to talk about how to keep the momentum of Ramadan going, inshallah. So we'll talk about that more specifically. But before we get into that, is to really just cherish the moments that remain and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us another Ramadan, and to also take the lesson from our own shortcomings and to make an intention, a sincere, deep intention to do better next time, if we're given next time. So that brings us to the call to action, is ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for acceptance this Ramadan. Scholars say that what is more important than just doing the deed is doing the deed with excellence. And what is most important of all is not that you've done the deed, but is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted it from you. Because there is no deed that is small with acceptance. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I accept this from you on the day of judgment, when you stand before me, you will see this in full measure. Because there might be flaws and shortcomings within the Ramadan, which might make it not worthy of acceptance, which is why we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for acceptance. And we should ask Him to forgive our shortcomings. That's the call to action for today. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this Ramadan from you and from all of us and from the entire ummah. and that He accept our fasting and our charity and our prayer and our dua and our recitation and all the forms of goodness that you have taken part in this month of Ramadan, and that He forgives all of our shortcomings, and that He grants us, insha'Allah, the opportunity to see another Ramadan in the best of states, and that we do even better in the next Ramadan. And for those of us who have even more Ramadans after that, that it is continuously better, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, by the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you for listening to Soul Food. To subscribe to the show, visit soulfood.fm, where you can subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, or by email. If you're on iTunes, please also leave us a rating and a review. It helps more people discover the show.